And good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Saturday Sports Blast Show. My name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Saturday Sports Blast Show. And yeah, what do you want to talk about? And let us talk to you today. And I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams. And acknowledge me. All right. All right, this morning we got a lot to talk about today. Leo Haggerty and Pensman Sports are not joining us this morning due to other obligations, but we do have with me Brian Pettit from the Sports Break Media, who's also our other co-host here on the Sports Blast Show. Every Saturday morning here, 10 a.m. live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. And there is Leo. Speaking of Leo, here he is today. There he is. Get him up on the screen. There's Leo. Leo
Good
Haggerty.
morning,
How
Leo.
are you, Leo?
Oh, I'm terrible, guys. I think Bryson DeChambeau got screwed big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
There you go. All right. All right. Well, Leo, thanks for being on this morning with us. And also Brian Pettit, like I said, Pensman Sports is off again this week for other obligations. Pensman will be joining me tomorrow as we're going to be doing a Saturday night's main event post-show tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. So check on my social media platforms. We haven't chosen a time yet, but we will come up this week with a time. All right, let's get started here. We'll start off with you, Brian. Go ahead. Tell everybody about you, how they can get a hold of you and what's going on.
Well, first of all, I want to make an announcement before we get in there. Leo, you might like this. And Ralph, we've already talked about this. How about Caitlin Clark goes for 45 points, 10 assists, and 4 rebounds last night? How about that? Making history for the Fever for the first time in history that somebody has actually scored 45 points or more. You know, it's going to take me back to that she's been fighting all these people, you know, of they're hitting her and all this and the WNBA. But you know what, Leo and Ralph, I'm going to take this back to the Michael Jordan era. If she's doing all this, maybe she needs to take out a book of Michael Jordan and then she'll do that. But I just want to get y'all's thoughts on that before. No, you can find me on Sports Break Media on all platforms. So that's an easy way to do it.
All right. Thank you. And Leo Haggerty, welcome to the program from Amped Up Sports. How are you this morning, Leo? What's going on?
I'm hanging in there. And you know, Brian, I'll answer your question right now. Not bad for the 7th best guard in the WNBA, right?
Yeah.
Come on. You're killing the golden goose. And the fact that they are just completely ignoring this woman, she's the face of the franchise. She's the face of the franchise. She's the face of the league. She's driving eyeballs to the screen. She's driving fannies to the seats, and they won't recognize it.
Nope.
You know what? If I were Caitlin Clark, I'd leave. I'd say, hey, see what you can do without me for a year and go somewhere else. But, yeah, check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. And we got a real busy week next week. We're heading to the SEC Football Media Days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the American Media Days for football, Friday over in St. Pete. So Saturday, I may be asleep at 10 o'clock. Who knows?
Hey, Leo, you give us insight next week of the SEC, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know what? The big question I want to ask Commissioner Sankey is, everybody says the best top-to-bottom conference in the country. I said, well, right now, I would say the best almost top-to-bottom conference in the country because you haven't made it to the finals yet in the last 2 years. So you can't say you're the
best
top-to-bottom when your top ain't showing up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, Pensman Sports chimes in here, says, hey, guys, how are you? Pensman, he's on a little weekend excursion down here in Ocean City. He'll be hooking up with me tomorrow, and we're going to be doing a show tomorrow from Studio D here in Studios 10 here in Berlin, Maryland as well. All right, we also say hello, and that is all right, and Thank you for being part of the program as well. All right. Let's get started here today. We're going to talk about last week we did the new head coaches for the NFL. This week, we're going to talk about the coaches from last year and will they be in a sophomore slump, the head coaches in the NFL from last year. Let's get started. Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson. Leo, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
I think it all depends on the guy under center. And again, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a Caleb Williams fan. I think he's vastly overrated. But will he be able to take that next step? That's the biggest thing. Because it's a quarterback-driven league. Let's be real honest. You go as far as your quarterback will take you. I think they'll be okay. I don't expect them to take that big a jump. They're going to have trouble beating the Lions. Again, the problem isn't on the offensive side of the ball, it's on the defensive side of the ball. They got to find out how to stop people. But again, I don't think his job is in jeopardy because of what they did last year. And it's still a learning curve for Caleb Williams. So I look for them to probably be a game or two better than last year.
All right. Somebody wanted to know about Purdue. We can talk about that. We got the big. We're going to be getting deep into college football probably at the end of August because that's when college football training camps open up in August. A lot of schools start their training camp. We're going to be talking a lot about what's going on. Our college football show will be back for season number 2 of the college football show. And we're going to be getting in depth again this year about college football. We're going to talk about the AAC with Leo with South Florida. We're ACC with myself and Brian because we have teams in the ACC that we cover. And then Pensman covers Michigan in the Big Ten. So we'll be talking about all those conferences whenever we get started with the college football show coming up soon. Brian, go ahead. Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears.
They're actually going to be, I think, like Leo said, they're going to be Caleb Williams, expect to become a superstar in this. The Bears are spent heavy to build a playoff caliber roster. Their prediction to go, last year, we kind of saw them, go 12-5, So, it depends, but you can see this team different directions here. You can have a good year, and then all of a sudden you can have a bad year, So we'll see what he's got though. But you got to have a quarterback though, So and also their early odds for the Super Bowl right now is plus 1,800. So just this, it's way out there. So we'll see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, here's my take on this, guys. I think last year Ben Johnson did a good coaching job with this team, but I always say this, guys, and I think you'll believe me, Leo and Brian, it's better to be lucky than good. And there were times when the Bears defense was undisciplined and not good. And they ended up winning the game because of offense. But what I'm saying, like Leo said, you got to get this defense in order. Dennis Allen is our defensive coordinator. He's one of the best in the league at that job. He needs to get this defense disciplined. They lost some games last year that they should have won because of bad disciplined football that they didn't play. And Pensman said he'll be good and go. Johnson can go anywhere if he will have a good year. I think of all of them, Pensman, and I believe of all the coaches from last year, I think Ben Johnson could have another year. But Detroit has to have another bad year. Minnesota needs to have a bad year again. And, that whole division is tough up there with the NFC North. It's not an easy division to win in.
No, it's not.
So we'll see where Ben Johnson goes. Next. All right, we're going to get into Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, New Orleans Saints. This team's a dumpster fire, but he was able to squeeze some wins out last year, and I will give Kellen Moore credit where it's due. They were in games. They didn't get blown out. So that's one thing that he has good going for him from last year. They were in cap hell. We'll see what happens this year. They're out of cap hell. Start with you, Brian. Go ahead.
It's a tough division to play in for the New Orleans Saints. He's got to show, like you said, Ralph, he's got to show more progress in year 2. You got to win more games. You know what I'm saying? Like you just said.
Yes.
And you're in that division where, it's kind of tough. So, but we'll see what he's got. This long-term, they got a long-term decision here of all kinds of stuff, but, they could be right back where they are, it's tough. If you put the pressure on him, it's like a 7.5 out of a 10, the pressure's on, It was like we talked about, like Leo's and you talked about last week, these guys that are brand new that you could see them. We always talk about people being fired and everything, but this could be like a 5-year deal, So you got to win games now, because if you don't, you're going to get fired in a 3-year span or a 4-year span,
Oh, yeah. Pensman brings up a great point. They're like the New York Giants. They just keep hiring coaches and can't win. But when you make bad coaching hires and you don't have anyone to command your salary cap, this is what happens. Go ahead, Leo. New Orleans Saints. Kellen Moore.
You know what, guys? We figured out real quick that it's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmys and Joes. If you were bad talent last year, you're probably going to be bad talent this year.
Yeah.
Because the hardest thing to do in the NFL is to turn your roster over. This isn't college where everybody just jumps into the portal or jumps out of the portal. I think the goal of a second-year coach, all these guys, you better win one more game than last year. Because if you don't, the owner is looking at you, the general manager is looking at you and says, okay, we're sliding backward. You've got to at least keep above water or moving forward. That's the key. I think Kellen Moore will do that. He's still, I still think the jury's out on the quarterback, but he's got he's got an aging roster. He brought in Etienne from Jacksonville, but Kamala's still there. I think he's 55 now. He's been there forever. So it's just a matter of, can they kind of tread water another year, and then let's make that big push in the following year. And again, looking at the colleges, looks like a really good crop of quarterbacks coming out. It looks that way, but again, we never know until it happens. But let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, because they're saying this is a big year for them too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are saying that. All right, next. New England Patriots and the lover boy, Mike Vrabel.
Oh, jeez.
Lover boy. Here we go. Leo, go ahead. We'll start with you, Mike Vrabel. I'm surprised he still has a job. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm not. He's got pictures of the owner. That's the only reason. He's got to. I mean, they probably... I think New England would be the only place he could keep his job with what went down. Because from what I understand, the pictures that they had in the New York Times, that's back from 2020. So this isn't something that just surfaced over the last 6, 8, 12 months. This has been going on. This is ongoing. And again, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a Drake May aficionado. And the Super Bowl kind of bore me out. He needs some seasoning. I expect the Patriots to fall back to where they should be, probably 10-6 this year, or 10-7, or 11-6, or worse, because now they're playing that first place schedule. It's a whole different animal. And now you're going to be fighting Buffalo. You're going to be fighting, not necessarily the Jets or Miami, but they're going to be trying to put on a new leaf as well, because they got new coaches. They got a new quarterback. Yeah. So, I think you'll see New England fall a little bit back to the pack just because of how, overachieved they did last year. They're
All
probably
right,
going to
Lee.
be right in that, 10-7, 11-6, or
Right.
9-7, right in there, or 9-8, right in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Leo, we have a question from Pensman. Wants to know what your thoughts are on the Bucks, what they're going to do this year. Go ahead.
Oof. You got to keep Baker happy, and right now he's not. And the Bucks are between a rock and a hard place. If you look at the way they're dealing with quarterbacks, the next step is $50-some million. Is Baker Mayfield worth $50 million? Yeah, but then he breaks the bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got to make him happy. And I think making him happy would be going from 30 to 40 million. But they can't go any higher than that. Because if they don't, they are just going to hamstring that club. But you got to keep your quarterback happy. And right now he's not. The biggest problem you got with Baker Mayfield is he plays with the mentality of a football player, not a quarterback. He's going to sacrifice his body. And there's your problem. He could get hurt. And it's happened in the past. Hey, if you were Cleveland right now, Pensman, do you think they're going, we could have had this guy? All we had to do was say, hey, he was hurt, he played hurt. They wouldn't have quarterback trouble, would they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's move on here. We're going to go to our next coach. Wait a minute. Hang on. Brian, go ahead. What are your thoughts on Mike Vrabel? Go ahead.
I don't know. Mike Vrabel, it's kind of Drake May kind of expect to become one of the top quarterbacks. I don't know if that could happen, but I mean, I guess I don't know. I just don't know. I think he'll be under the pressure though. So, I think that he'll be under pressure a little bit. It's like Leo said, can they fall back to that, 8 wins, 10 wins, somewhere around there? But, so.
All right, Regina from South Africa checking in. Thank you, Regina. And then we have, hang on a minute, I got to straighten something out here real quick. And then it says, Pensman says, please like and subscribe to all of our YouTube channels and everything else that's going on as well on our social platforms. And make sure that we handle that.
And Busy Lady said hi.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hello as well. And hello to everybody on the comment section. Thank you for your comments today as well. All right, let's get into our next one here. And also my thoughts on Mike Vrabel is I think this year he kind of got lucky, and I said this again, it's better to be lucky than good. I think he got lucky a little bit this year. Next, Jacksonville Jaguars, Liam Cohen. Who would ever thought Liam Cohen was going to do this well in Jacksonville? He took them to playoffs. They actually did quite well for themselves. We'll start with you, Brian. Go ahead.
Well, we always say this about this. Trevor Lawrence has got to step up a little bit more now, but I think they can actually win. They got a good thing going. I think they can make a good you got to play the Chiefs and the those kind of teams, but we'll see what he's got. I think that their percentage will win a little bit more, but we'll see what they got. But I don't think his job is jeopardized. Let him get 5 or 4, 6 years and see where he goes now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, Leo, go ahead. Your thoughts.
You know what, guys? I hate to put this out, but every coach's job is in jeopardy if that number before the dash is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the beast. So we got to deal with that. But we saw Liam Cohen down here, what he did in Tampa. And now all of a sudden, he walks in and he's got a quarterback. We've seen him at Clemson. We know what the guy can do. The big jump was going from college to the pros. And he had to suffer through that coaching carousel debacle that they had with just like, come on. You lose your head coach, 6 games into the season? Now you got to go back. So,
Yeah,
Trevor
they
has,
hired Urban Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
That
was
was like,
bad.
come on. So, I don't think he has the pass, but I think he's got to get him back to the playoffs. And the biggest problem Jacksonville has is they're the ones that volunteered to play 2 games across the pond. So, and they lost Travis Etienne. They're going to get Hunter back for a full season, they hope, knock on wood. And it's going to be an interesting scenario down in Jacksonville because they were the hunter. Now they're the hunted.
Yep,
in that
we always
AFC South with Houston.
All right,
Yeah.
we're doing real good there. Thank you for being part of the comment section. Go ahead, Brian. Your thoughts?
No,
on
it's like Leo said. You're the hunt. You got to be the people that don't think. But now you got to expect more expectation. Now Oh, we made it to the playoffs. Now you got to make it to the playoffs, and let's see if you can make
more.
it to that.
Right,
and more.
Exactly.
Yeah, and now you got to do that. So the pressure's on. So I just wanted to add that little thing there too.
All right, Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll got fired. He was fired after 1 season. Guys, this was just I guess Pete Carroll didn't want to stay on the couch or in the front office or whatever he was doing, and he kind of wanted to get back into coaching, decided to come back, work for the Raiders, work for the Davis boys, and then here we go. He gets fired at the end of the year, and the Raiders are still a dumpster fire, but they got Clint Kubiak as their new head coach. Brian, we'll start with you, God.
The Raiders haven't been consistent in a long time,
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it's been a long time, and I mean, it seems like every 3 to 2 years, the Raiders just change everything. It's like they do this, do that, change coaches, change offensive coordinators, do new owners, and it's just a dumpster fire, just like the Browns are taking, everything out. That's just 2 teams. You can't be loyal to a team, and both of the Raiders haven't been consistent,
Yeah, I feel bad for Raider Nation. That was a storied franchise.
Yeah,
all the
it was back in the
battles
late
with the
80s and
Steelers
90s.
everything.
It was a big story,
Yes. Tom Flores, John Madden, some great coaches there, Super Bowls, playoffs, so. Pensman says, what do we think, Mendoza or Cousins? I think I start with Cousins. If he fails, Mendoza comes in. Go ahead, Leo.
I think the worst thing that can happen to the Raiders is to go 9-8 with Cousins playing all 17 games. Only because now you're going to have to play him another year. I have no problem with that. Look at what these quarterbacks have done that have sat. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. Mahomes sat for, I think, an entire season. Hurts sat for 2 years. So the game gets exponentially faster when you're under center. And it's nice that we're taking a first-year coach you threw in there, Ralph. You kind of fooled me on that one. I thought we were doing the second year. But when you look at what's going on.
Well, we are doing the second year. We're going over Pete Carroll getting fired and what happened with the Raiders. Yeah, we can. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, but go ahead.
Yeah, what you got with the Raiders is they're trying to put pieces together. You got the running back. You think you got your quarterback in Mendoza, but you're going to have to don't throw him to the wolves right away. The worst thing is Cousins doing all 17 games. Even worse is him getting hurt week 3 or 4. Then you got a problem. Now you got to throw Mendoza to the wolves no matter what. Again, win one more than you won last year, keeps the owner off your back.
Yep.
All right. Next one is Aaron Glenn, New York Jets. Leo, go ahead. Change the quarterback up there. They have Geno Smith if he can stay out of jail. Geno Smith, and they've got some changes going on up there. Aaron Glenn's trying to change the culture. Will it ever change with the Jets? Good, Leo.
Well, the hardest thing is to change the culture when you don't want to win.
Yeah.
They want to lose so they can get a shot at Arch Manning.
Yeah, I like that, Leo. That's a good one. There you go.
Go play hard, but not real hard, just enough to keep our fans happy. So yeah, they're between a rock and a hard place. And guys, I'm going to throw this out at you. When have you ever seen a team in the National Football League go through an entire season and not get an interception? That
Never.
is phenomenal. I mean, you talk about bad luck, bad karma, whatever it is. God hates the Jets. Talk about however you want. But this team, again, second-year coach, show progress, win more than you won last year. If not, I don't care if you've only been there 2 years. You can't go 4-13 and expect to keep your job in the NFL. Just doesn't happen.
They haven't been relevant since Herm Edwards. Herm Edwards took them to the playoffs. That's the last time they were relevant. Rex Ryan did okay, but they haven't really been relevant. They've had some bad coaches over the years, the Rich Coltites of the world and a few other people. And, you
play to win the game.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's right.
Play to win the game.
Play to win the game. That's right. Brian, go ahead.
Well, last year they had a disappointing season, as like everybody else is. And I got to throw this one in. If Aaron Glenn has another bad year, do you think he would have actually make another major changes to the offense, defense, or do you think he'll get fired? Their defense could be actually better than what it was last year. But, so I just want to bring up that little points, though. But
when you sit down with the owner, you got to be able to say, hey, look, we won 4 games last year. We won 6 this year. We're showing improvement.
Yeah. That's baby steps. That's where
baby steps at a time.
Yeah.
So you got to win more than
baby steps to the field, baby steps to the football, with baby steps. So, and that's where Aaron Glenn's got to go. But the Jets have to be patient with Aaron Glenn. They got to give him a few years. They can't be firing guys left and right because they think that they're not. And I know Jets want to win. I know the fan base wants to win. But you know what? You got to be patient when you have a coach. All right, Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer. Not a bad year for the Cowboys last year. They did okay. They had some injuries that kept them out of the playoffs. I thought they did pretty well for themselves. Brian, go ahead. We'll start with you, Dallas Cowboys. Go ahead.
I think they actually did a good job last year. I heard Dak is going to be actually incredible, so that's going to be there. They're expected to play in the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship. They haven't been there since 1995, but they got a talented roster. But he's on I think he could be there good, and also they've been quiet this year. Usually we have a lot of a lot of Dallas Cowboy news. Dallas Cowboy this, Dallas Cowboy. They've actually in-housed everything, and they're actually being quiet. That kind of scares me a little bit, what they're hiding, because they've really been quiet. And Leo could agree to that, because usually it's this, and that. But we'll see, though.
Oh, yeah. Leo, go ahead.
They are staying under the radar. The only thing they had was George Pickens, who did nothing wrong. The volunteer workouts he didn't show up for. Now the fans are saying this and that in the media. Guys, it's volunteer. Just deal with it. And I wish the NFLPA and the NFL would get together and get rid of these volunteer workouts. Just say, okay, we're going to extend the mini camp from, 8 days to 12 days. And we're going to get rid of these OTAs. Because these guys that don't show up, they're bad teammates. No, they're not. They just got other things to do. Because my life doesn't revolve around where my job. People keep forgetting that. This is a job. And they're getting paid to perform. Not too many people. If I'm a teacher, if you ask me to work Monday, Thursday, and then volunteer on Friday, it ain't happening. So, stop punishing these guys for it. It's a little scary being an Eagles fan because the Cowboys, it's usually drama, drama, and more drama. It's not that way this year. But again, I think their goal is make the playoffs. Everybody's talking about, well, win the division, just get to the second season.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
Leo, Ralph, I got a question for this one.
Good.
And Leo, so I know that you've been in NFL. Could we actually see major changes to the whole entire NFL when we go into summer months where we could actually see like your class, like when a draft class, they'll come in there, a team that can actually come in there and go, okay, we're just going to have rookies camp for everybody. And then kind of major step of where it gets to the veterans, because the veterans, it seems like every year, the veterans don't really want to practice with the OTA. Some of these things they want to spend time with their family before they go into preseason. Something like that. Yeah,
and the second thing people don't realize is if I get seriously hurt during a volunteer workout, there's a financial problem here.
Yes, there is.
So,
yeah.
That's why the first 4 games of the NFL season, that's actually the preseason, because now they're tackling for real. Now they're playing full games. So the goal is to win 1 game in the first 4. You go 0-4, you kind of bury. If you go 1-3, 2-2, you're okay. If you go 3-1 or 4-0, hey, hang on to the reins because this ride's going to get real pretty and real quick. But, they've got to do something. The big thing they got to do, guys, is they got to do something with Thursday Night Football. It is god-awful.
Oh, my gosh. Amazon's not making any money on that, Leo. They're losing money. People are not watching it. I don't have an Amazon Prime membership. And when I lived in Pittsburgh, they would put it on one of the local networks so you could watch it, or the NFL Network would have it on. And I don't even have that now because I have Comcast, and unfortunately they broke their contract or something with the NFL Network. So I have to go on YouTube and watch now NFL games, if I want to watch them. But I mean, I don't even have an Amazon Prime membership.
I'm going to get on my soapbox here because this is an easy fix. If you were going to play a Thursday night game, you have the bye week beforehand. Mm-hmm. So you play Sunday, you got the bye week, and you're going to play Thursday. That gives you 10 days to prepare. Then you got 9 days to play on Sunday. It's like a mini bye. Why are they not? Why the NFLPA is not demanding? Because it's an injury issue. You play Sunday and then you got to travel and play on Thursday. 1, you're not prepared mentally or physically. It takes more than 3 days to recover if you're an NFL player. That's why Tuesday's a day off. This is something that they need to approach from a safety issue. And the NFLPA is dropping the ball. They need to come out in the media and say, hey, we need to fix Thursday night football. Here's how you do it.
And Leo, we talk about this all the time, and I know a lot of people haven't really discussed this, but, Jacksonville's got 2 games overseas. How is that going to prepare them to go into play here, like San Francisco and the things? How are they going to adjust from, time going over to here and then coming back to the States? Then you got to go back over there. And, it messes with your time frame. We just talked about it just a minute ago. That can mess with your mind frame because you're not getting that rest because you're getting jet lag. If I told you, okay, Leo, I want you to go to across the world and then a couple of days later come back and then next Saturday you'll be back and across the seas again, you're going to be tired,
I think the 49ers and somebody else opens in Australia this year. Did I see that right?
Yeah, you did. It's the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Opening up in Australia. That's going to be a heat wave there. I mean, it's
let me give you a real quick story on that. When the Bucks played a preseason game after they won the Super Bowl, they played in Tokyo, the Tokyo Dome. For some insane reason, they decided to fly direct Tokyo to Tampa. 18 hours in the plane. They said one of their players actually was bouncing off the fuselage. He was going crazy being cooped up that long. So, the NFL's got to step. How about concentrating on having this work in the States? What you do overseas? And Brian, one thing, Jacksonville goes over for 2 weeks. They'll play 2 games in a row, so it's not over, back.
Okay.
Exactly.
But their mental impact will be like,
it can't be good. That's for sure.
I mean, at least give them say you play 2 weeks off here, you get a week actually off, then you start, and I know that they can do that. And they're also talking about 18 games. They're just going to be more pressure. They're kind of getting like college. Yeah. They're kind of getting like college where, all right, just take the preseason out, and just let them go play, go take the preseason out and let's just go play football, like the college does, They don't need preseason.
Yeah.
So
no, they don't. And real soon here, and I think Leo agrees, so will Brian and everyone else out here. I think the NFL is going to eliminate preseason real soon, and then you're really going to have problems. I mean, but you know what, Leo? I want to say this about the NFLPA. They haven't been relevant since Gene Upshaw.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more, Ralph.
Yeah, they haven't been relevant at all. In fact, you don't even know who the union head is anymore. I mean, when Gene Upshaw was there, you knew Gene Upshaw. He was tough, and he got them guys what they needed. And now you got weak leadership in that department, Leo. And I agree with you 100% about I've been barking about this for years with the NFLPA. All right, Steelers. Pensman says Steelers go to France. Yeah, they go to France this year. All right. Next, we're going to talk about what are these coaches that got fired doing now, or what are they going to be doing this year? Jonathan Gannon will be the new defensive coordinator in Green Bay. We'll start with you, Leah. Where does Green Bay go now? They have another quality defensive coordinator in Jonathan Gannon. They lost Jeff Hafley to the Miami Dolphins. He's going to be their new head coach. What are your thoughts on Jonathan Gannon going from the Cardinals to the Green Bay Packers as defensive coordinator? Go ahead.
I'll take you back another step. He did a pretty darn good job in Philly.
Yeah, he did. He did a real good job in Philly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? The fact that everybody's talking now about, maybe it's not necessarily what everybody's talking about, whether it's the offensive coordinator. You need to get these guys to win, especially after what Mike McDonald did out in Seattle.
Right.
He took what his base was, defense. He sat there like the mad scientist. What do I need to do? I need to tinker, I need to tweak, and get it done. And then he found Sam Darnold from scrap heap. Basically, everybody said
he had
was
Clint
done.
Kubiak as his offensive coordinator too.
Yep. Hey, and guys, let me throw this out while we're on this subject. I don't know if you saw the ESPN quarterback ratings that they had, 1 through 10. They said Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. You can't put somebody can't put somebody above somebody.
We are discussing,
or maybe 3.
We are discussing that today. We are discussing that today on the Sports Corner Radio Show, Leo. And we are going through that. And that Josh Allen at number 1. I agree with you on that one. He's not better than Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he may be better, but he can't go like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Guys, I got a better one for you. Here's the question mark. Where do you think Jalen Hurts and Sam Darnold was in that top 10?
They weren't even on there.
Even listed.
They weren't even
on there.
They weren't even there.
Yeah.
Brian, I'll send you the coaches poll. It was a coaches and owners poll. We're discussing it today at 2:00 on the Sports Corner Radio Show on 12:50 a.m. The Answer. We're discussing.
You got the last 2 winners of the Super Bowl. One of them the MVP, and you're not saying he's a top 10 quarterback.
He's a top 10 quarterback,
what?
Right?
What, as we used to say when we were growing up in this time, what are you smoking? Big coffee is not the good stuff.
No, or what Kool-Aid are you drinking? And it's not.
Yeah, what
Absolutely.
Kool-Aid are you drinking?
Yeah, hey, were you with Jim Jones? Because you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yep, exactly. So, all right, next, Mike Tomlin. Stepped away from the Steelers, will be the new analyst on Sunday Night Football. Brian, start with you. Mike Tomlin, Jonathan Gannon with Green Bay, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. Not with the Steelers, with NBC.
The radio, with the TV.
Yeah,
I think he actually would be really good. He's got to talk more. You never see him talk more, and he's got to put expressions in his face. But I think he'll be a good analyst. For that television.
I can't wait to see what Tomlinisms he's going to use.
Yeah, yeah.
I
think he'll be good.
My favorite one was last year. We played the Jets. In the first half, we did good. Second half, or the first half, we didn't do so good. Second half, we did good. And he said in the first half, we got caught with our slip showing.
Yeah.
And he's come up with some good ones over the years, too. So, Leo, go ahead. Your thoughts. Mike Tomlin, NBC. Go ahead.
Well, didn't they replace him with Tony Dungy? He brought him to replace him.
Tony Dungy was there. Yeah, they replaced him. Yeah.
I mean, what did Dungy do to deserve to get fired? I mean,
I don't know.
But I truly believe that Mike Tomlin has hung up his whistle. He'll find out how nice it is to sit there and not be criticized by the media like he has been. And again, it's an occupational hazard in the coaching profession. But
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Okay, next we got Mike McDaniel, former Miami Dolphins head coach, now the OC down at the LA Chargers. Does Justin Herbert get better with him this year, Leo? Go ahead. We'll start with you. Go ahead.
God, he's got to. And again, Justin Herbert was ranked as the number 6 quarterback, I think. And how? What has he done? I mean, show me something that you've done. I mean, they say, well, he's with a bad team. I'm sorry. Deal with it. Find a way to get to the playoffs and find a way to win a playoff game. Bottom line. But, he's going to get better because they're going to run probably every play imaginable. It's going to look like, something that came out of a test tube. Here, let's try this. So, it'll be fun to watch for sure.
I think it'll be, like Leo said, and I'm going to piggyback on this. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch him do this. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Brian, so go ahead. Okay, well, you already gave your comments on that one.
Yeah.
So,
I think he'll be doing good.
Okay, here's something I just found out here. John Harbaugh got fired from the Ravens and is now going to be the new head coach at the New York Giants. Now, get this now. Wait till you see this threesome that he hired for offense. And he's a smart guy to do this. Question is, can he coach, in key games and not make stupid decisions? He has Matt Nagy, Brian Callahan, the former Tennessee Titans head coach, and Greg Roman working with him. He's got 3 guys who, Nagy didn't do so good in Chicago. I don't know what happened in Kansas City. And Brian Callahan, who didn't do anything with Tennessee. And Greg Roman, he's been back and forth as an offensive coordinator between college and the pros. Greg Roman's a good offensive coordinator. I thought the Steelers should have hired him, but that's beyond that. But we'll start with you, Brian. Go ahead. John Harbaugh, New York Giants.
Yeah, we'll see. He's got to keep up with the media, though. So they got to make him happy.
Yeah.
We always talk about it. Leo knows about the worst up there. You live up there, you got to deal with the media. But that sounds like a 3 amigos up there. So, they better win some games or they could fall back and hurt them really quick, But he's got a lot of responsibility up there because they're going to come after. If he loses, and think about this, if he loses 5 games this year, they're coming. Like Leo said, they're coming hard at him. What's going on? The biggest question that would be like, what is your biggest attribute of not being here, or something a bigger question than that, So they're going to come after him if he loses more than 5 games.
Right. Okay. Next. Oh, I'm sorry, Leo. Go ahead. Your thoughts on this here on the John Harbaugh.
You know what, Brian? They'll be coming after week 8 because they'll be 3-5.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a good team. But everybody's saying, well, he's going to change the culture. Well, guess what? You still got to put 11 guys on the field. And the guys in the other color jersey, probably 12 of the 17 games are going to be better. So, the media is going to go after him. They think that this is going to be they're going to say, oh, look at New England. What a quick fix it was. Well, the problem is you don't have the Jets and the Dolphins to play. You're going to play the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. And guess what? They're all better than you right now. I'm sorry.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
And
even with this all-star coaching staff that he has, more or less.
And you know what, guys? The biggest thing you got to worry about, if you're a head coach, you got to be leery of hiring a guy as an assistant who was a former head coach because they want to get rid of you. They got a guy right there. So that's a heck of a move by Harbaugh to put 3 of those guys on staff. So I think he feels pretty safe about his job for at least 1 year, maybe 2.
Yeah, well, Harbaugh and Roman been friends for many years, and then so you expected that. Nagy, I didn't expect Nagy, but that's fine. Nagy's been around too. So, all right, Raheem Morris, Atlanta. He has moved on. He is the new defensive coordinator in San Francisco. Brian, we'll start with you. You're the 49ers guy. How does he help the 49ers? Good defensive coordinator, horrible head coach.
I think that you got a good defense, but there's more to the San Francisco 49ers on the defensive side. They're old, the defense for the 49ers, but we'll see how they do though. I'm kind of mistook of what's going to happen to the 49ers this year, but he might be a good defense coach, but we'll see. The defense
that's all we can do is look at it. That's all we can do. Leo, go ahead. Raheem Morris. You know more about Raheem Morris than all of us.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he was the most snake-bitten head coach last year. I think they lost 4 games in overtime and 1 in regulation where the kicker missed 1. They could have very easily been an 11-12 win team. Easily. But it didn't happen. And Raheem, if I'm not mistaken, guys, he was the defense coordinator with the Rams when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was, yes.
The guy's got some pedigree. And
yes.
I think that had a lot to do with it because he'll know how to beat the Rams or what he needs to do to beat the Rams. So that may be a big thing. And you know what, guys? I'm going to throw this out at you before I go on my rant with DeChambeau. But who's the better coach? Todd Bowles or Shanahan?
I think Todd Bowles is. Because you know why? He came from the Arians tree. And I believe Todd Bowles is a better coach. I do.
Yeah, he's got 1 Super Bowl ring. And Shanahan's cost
Shanahan overcoaches all the time, Leo. And I think Brian agree with me on that. He overcoaches, and then he screws everything up. He's another guy. He's another John Harbaugh. Screws up in big games, So
he did 3 times. With Atlanta, all he had to do was run the football and run the clock out, and New England doesn't even get it to overtime. He screwed up in San Francisco twice.
Yes.
Once when he didn't take a timeout at the end of the first half and let the clock run out, and the second one was when he won the toss and elected to receive. When you don't want to do that in overtime, when you're going to get a possession no matter what happens.
Exactly. Yeah, he has, Leo, and I'm telling you, I would take Todd Bowles, despite the fact that Todd Bowles hasn't been to a Super Bowl yet with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he's done what he can with what he has there, and he's done well with it.
Well, he's been to the Super Bowl as an assistant coach.
He's kept them where they have to go.
Yeah. He was the assistant coach with the Bucs, so that'll work.
Exactly. Yeah. And he worked with Bruce Arians, and Bruce Arians is one of the best coaches in the league. And anybody that works under Bruce Arians, to me, is quality. And So next, Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, he got fired, but he got picked up by the Atlanta Falcons. He's going to be their new head coach. They have a quarterback in Tua, along with Michael Penix. We're going to find out what happens there. Brian, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
I just don't know. That's all.
Yeah.
You just don't know what's going to happen. All these new coaches and all the new hires, you never know what they're going to do because they got to go in there and you got to get your staff together. You got to have your other coaches. If I hired 2 new coaches, you got to get your supporting staff together, So you don't know who he's got his supporting things, and you got to have a leader. You don't know who the leader in the clubhouse is,
Right.
Is all we talk about,
Oh, exactly.
So it's a difficult decision for everybody. Everybody's going to be different. You got to work out your coordinators. It seems like every team this year, all 32 teams has a new coach or new something in there, but you got to get everything
coaching shuffle, Brian. Everybody's just moving around and going in different places, and exactly. And everybody's trying to get better than everybody else.
Well, and I'll tell you this too. All the teams we talk about college, college pros. There's only one thing that you don't see, and that's in high school. You don't see many coaches moving around in the high school ranks.
No,
it's more or less you're moving around in college ranks because they got to go opposite. They cup calling or something. But if you had a team that could stay 5 or 7 years,
the only thing you got to worry about.
Yeah,
the only thing you got to worry about in high school, right?
Yeah.
The only thing you got to worry about in high school, Brian, is you got to worry about the parents, the school board, and you got to worry about the superintendent or whatever, and that's it. That's all you got to really worry about. And if you could deal with the parents and the school board, you're good as a coach in high school. I think Leo agree with us on that. Leo's a former teacher, so he knows all about that stuff, and a coach too, I believe. So go ahead, Leo.
3 words. No more excuses. You can't blame the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Stefanski's under the gun in Atlanta. He's going to have to win this year. Second time around as a head coach. And like you said, he can't blame the Browns. He can't blame the organization. He's got a good group of ownership down there. Some people say Matt Ryan's in over his head there, Leo. I don't know. Brian, I don't know. If that's the case, you know what I mean? So we'll see. But all right, guys, let's do our final thoughts. Let's do our local.
Oh, I got Ralph. One thing I want to get Leo's on this decision. Leo, and I know you talk about this. We talk about this, and I know that I cover Clemson. Did you hear what Dabo said in the press conference this week about there can actually be a controversy at quarterback this year?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. That was first time in 12 years?
Yeah,
exactly.
He didn't say it, but Vizina they got a new guy there, and they said that they could actually have a controversy little thing going on down there at Clemson. So
didn't they bring back Morris as the OC?
Yeah, and they got Vizina and this new guy. They said that he's actually outperforming. Well, not outperforming it, but there's a battle going on between Vizina and let me see if I can find Rollins. So keep your eye on that one as you're going through the kind of getting your football stuff together. So you might want to look at it. It's on the Tiger Net.
Will do.
Yeah. So just a little heads up. I think there might be a little controversy right now between those. As we see,
right.
You never know.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. All right, Leo, go ahead. Your local, Tampa Bay, South Florida Bulls. Go ahead.
Yeah, Friday will be media day with the Americans, so USF will be over there. Everything else is the Rays. They lost a doubleheader to the red-hot Red Sox last night. The Sox have won 11 in a row. So, it's crazy. But you know what, guys? I am going to take about 4 minutes to go on my rant.
Go for it, because I want to hear that. I want to hear this.
Bryson DeChambeau got a 2-stroke penalty for doing something that I have no idea what was illegal. They said, well, he inadvertently, which means that he didn't do it on purpose, improved his lie because he patted down the fescue grass. Well, they said, well, he was walking in there with high knee, and you're talking about an NFL linebacker. He's 235 pounds. He's a big man.
Yeah, he is.
He's walking in there. And here's my real problem. When did they call this penalty on him? There's a rules official there. Why didn't right away they say, hey, we're going to assess you a 2-stroke penalty for improving the lie? Why? And here's my real rant. Somebody called in after watching that video and said, hey, he improved the lie.
Yeah.
That's like in an NFL game at the end of the third quarter going, hey, remember that field goal you kicked before halftime? We're going to say it's no good now. You can't do this. You've got to do stuff in real time. And if I was DeChambeau, I'd have been hot too. Because, hey, why didn't somebody come up and say that? The Royal and Ancient, the RNA, they dropped the ball. The rules official, because his 2 playing partners were in the middle of the fairway, he should have been right next to DeChambeau because they're looking for a lost ball. He had played a provisional. All he was doing, anytime a man his size was standing on the fescue, he's going to mat it down. The guy's 235 pounds. He's a linebacker. Stop doing that. And everybody said, well, why didn't he accept it? Because guess what? They're accusing him of cheating.
Well,
and
Leo,
I'll tell you what, I'd have been hot about that too. So,
well, Leo, go ahead.
I'll
think
the
back
Royal
on this one
Nation,
too.
They dropped the ball on this because they said, all right, let's go back to the replay. No, can't do it. It's got to be in real time.
Hey, Leo, and I'll back on this one. When I play golf, if I hit it like in that kind of situation, I got to walk through that grass. Yeah, I'm going to high step because I don't want it on my shoes, my pants. That, I'm going to high step, but I'm not going to do, I'm going to look at my position. I'm going to go back sideways because I don't know what's around that ball. Are they accusing me going?
You're going to high step because of those things that slither in the grass too, right?
Yeah, and you don't know, and it could be a snake in there. You don't know what's in there. You don't know what's actually in there. And,
right.
And, I'm going to high step kind of thing, and I play golf most of the time. But I kind of high step too when I get in that kind of grass because I don't want my shoes to get dirty, even though they will. And my pants, they wear long pants. I wear shorts, but still, I high step some stuff too. But I just think it's kind of ridiculous. Are we going to call in? Is everybody going to call in and go, ooh, he made a mistake? How about Tiger Woods when he was playing golf? Or let's talk about this one. Now are we going to analyze people calling in? Just ignore it. Okay, a fan saw this.
They should have ignored it because it happened once before where people were calling in and then they assessed the penalty. Guess what, guys? If you don't catch it in real time, that's it. And anybody who's played golf know when you get into high grass, you better high step. You don't shuffle your feet because that stuff down there, you don't know what's there.
Yeah, exactly. And I've played at the beach before, and down in being in Florida too. I guess you got to watch out for alligators too. Because you don't know what they're
bring up about alligators.
And I'll tell you this too. I'll tell you this story because, and I'm going to piggyback on this one, Leo. My wife was actually watching a show that they were redoing a house and stuff like that, and it was high grass. It was really high grass. They were looking at it. And what was actually there in the high grass? A little baby alligator down in Florida because they were cleaning the house. You don't know what's there.
No.
They didn't even have any idea that it was there. And the guy got kind of scared. He's like, oh, there's a baby alligator next to air conditioning. And they were just cleaning the yard up that hasn't been cleaned up in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, you don't know what's there. And you're going to mat the grass down because we see it every time we go play golf. You're going to mat the grass down no matter what, you know?
And he didn't do anything out of the ordinary. He stood behind his ball. Look at his next shot. Well, they say he matted it down. He's going to mat it down, just standing there. So
Yeah, I'm going to stand there and I'm going to look around it. I don't know what's there. Yeah.
And here's what bothered me: you got this holier than thou Brits who are saying, oh, we're the god of golf. It started here. Whatever we say, and they're saying, well, he should have took it like a man. Oh no, there was no way. I'm going to fight like hell for that because I did nothing wrong. That's the biggest problem. They accused him of doing something wrong. And we had these reporters saying, oh, it was obvious. Well, it was obvious. Why didn't the on-course official with that group say, hey, two-stroke penalty? It wasn't that obvious. So, yeah.
That obvious, right.
Let's forget about this last one. He's a member of LIV. If you think if he was with the PGA, this would have happened, no, hell no.
No, not at all. No.
I'm done. My rant's over.
That's all right. Leo, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, and thanks for being part of the show today. So,
well, keep an eye out next week because we'll be at the SEC Media Days. There'll be a bunch of stuff we're putting up. Trace and I and Kelly Champion have all been credentialed. We'll be over there. There'll be stuff coming out daily, and we're all excited about that. And Friday is the AAC with 14 teams there, 16 with the SEC. We're all excited about that. And guess what? The following week, training camp opens, guys.
Yeah, it does. You're exactly correct. All right, Brian, go ahead. How can people get a hold of you and what's going on in your Clemson and 49ers and all that stuff?
Well, I'm just cruising around. Next 2 weeks next 3 weeks are going to be kind of rough around here. My kids are going to get ready to start school in a couple of weeks, so it's going to be a busy time with me doing full time, and the kids are going to school a little bit here in August, so it's going to be busy time, and then you got football right around the corner with everything, so I'm going to be kind of busy with that kind of stuff. But no, if you want to know all my social media, now I'm on new kind of platforms, everything. You can follow me at Sports Break Media, and also on X at 27 Sports Break. So that's how you can find me. But everything else is, and also I have my merch too. If you go to my bio on YouTube, you can actually find my merch. And also, I'm not getting paid for it, so you can just spend your own money. It doesn't go to me. And also, I'm on Discord under Sports Break Media. Also, it's under the bio too. So more content coming out more and more a day that I'm redoing. So, yeah.
And, Brian, did I see that right? Clemson opens up with LSU?
Yes, and I'm actually going to...
Another one to get this year, jeez.
Well, Ralph, I've already put that one as a loss, so don't give me credit for that one. I'm already put that one as a loss. But, no, actually, I'm going to do play-by-play reaction to that game when actually that game comes out. So I'm going to have a reaction to that game. So, yeah.
Well, you know what? You want to catch LSU early because they'll be introducing themselves to each other as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you got Lane Kiffin. So, Leo, I hope you have fun at the SEC Media Days on that.
Oh, yeah. It should be
if you told me that I could go with you just to go and have fun, I would be slipping you notes going, ask this question.
Well, here's the one I'm going to ask Sankey. Everybody says the SEC is the best conference top to bottom. Problem is, the last 2 years, you got to change that to the best conference almost to the top to the bottom. Because you haven't had a team in the finals the last 2 years. Can't say you're top to bottom anymore, guys. Yeah. Got to prove it.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, guys. Thank you for being part of the show today. You can get a hold of me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. I'm also on Blue Sky, Getter, and several social media platforms. Don't forget this afternoon, the Sports Corner radio show, 2 to 3 p.m., 12:50 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, and The Answer, PGH.com. If I can get the banner to come up here. I'm having issues with this mouse. Oh, come on. Really? All right. Well, there we go. I think I got it there. What's that, Brian?
I think the mouse don't like you.
Well, he's trying to deal with Tom or Jerry. Which one you got up?
Yeah, exactly. So, but at 2:00 today, there it is. It'll be me, Ralph Williams, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. Smoking Jim will not be joining us. He's under the weather. So please say some prayers for him. Also, Smoking Jim had a birthday this week. I want to say happy birthday to him. And my wife, Rhonda, had her birthday this week as well. And happy anniversary to Luther and Simone Dupree. They had their anniversary this week. So it's been an interesting and fun week for everyone that has birthdays and anniversaries.